All right, we are still in Gus's Groceries employees, and we're going to figure some money. So one of the things we've done is we've listed how many hours they work and their rate of pay. We have a column for what is their regular pay for the week. Then we have how many overtime hours they worked. We're going to figure out what does that overtime pay look like, and then finally we're going to add overtime pay to regular pay and come up with a total. And remember, if I want to format my information here, I highlight it. I'm going to come over here, and instead of general, I'm going to highlight it as currency. And I highly recommend when you're dealing with your data, this looks more professional. It's easier for other people to read. Okay, so let's figure, what is this formula? Remember, our formulas start with the equals. We're going to do a parentheses, and it's this times this in parentheses. So what I've done is I've taken 40 hours and you're paid $14.50 an hour. So that's what my formula is. It's a very easy formula. And remember, I'm all about working smarter, not harder. So I will fill this down. So grab the handle, come down, and it fills the formula. And if you want to check yourself, go back in. So it's B9 times C9. And am I right? Yep, Jason is remember, this is the address. So this is C9, and the formula was C9 times B9 right here. And remember, I've already formatted this, so that formatting transferred over. All right, so that's figuring the regular pay. Now we're going to figure overtime. For our purposes today, overtime is time and a half, which is pretty standard unless it's holiday pay or hazard pay. We're just going, Gus pays time and a half. So equals this number times 1.5. So the regular rate of pay times 1.5 is how much they are paid per hour of overtime. So we're going to do that times how many hours they work of overtime. Whoops. All right, let me take a look and see what I did here. I hit something wrong. Okay, let's try it one more time. We're going to make this a little bit bigger. All right, so overtime pay is equals rate of pay times 1.5, okay, times this many hours. All right, so they are paid $43.50. Let's go back and look at our formula. Remember, what shows in the cell is going to be the result of the equation. Okay, up here in our formula bar, that's where we see what happened. So we took regular pay times 1.5 times however many. So again, we're going to fill down. Now we've got some zeros here, so don't be alarmed when you see 0 here, because anything times 0 is going to be 0. So then we're going to come over and we are looking at our total pay. So equals, we're going to take regular pay and we're going to add it. Whoops. We're going to add it to our overtime pay. All right, so this person is going to make $623. Does that make sense? $580 regular pay plus $43.50. All right, we're going to come here, grab that handle, and we drug it down. Okay, now if I want to, I can also put totals. Okay, so if I wanted to know the sum of each column, I can put that right here. And what I'm going to do is start with my equals, and I'm going to do sum. Now I'm going to give it a data range. So I'm going to click and drag, and you'll see what that does. The data range became between B2 and B12. I'm going to close that and hit enter. So there were 377 regular hours worked that week. I'm going to look at this again. Equals the sum of, and then I gave it a data range, and I just started and I clicked down, held and clicked, and then ended it with a parentheses. Okay, now I could do that for all of them, but guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to click and drag. All right. Now, you're probably wondering, why didn't the currency come over? Like, the formula is right, but why is it the currency? That's because what I copied did not have that. So if you want your currency, you're going to come over here and grab it again. So that's the reason, when you copy your formula, you're going to make sure that your information still looks good. So we copied it, which is great, but it didn't copy that formatting of the currency because this didn't have it, this original one. Okay. And I'm all for working harder, not smarter. I don't expect you to go down. What I am looking for when I grade your work is and I'm going to ask you to upload the whole Excel file. That is the only way I know to grade this, is to be able to look back at your formulas. So if you've had an error, I can look at your formula and backtrack and see where it is. Folks, if you had just typed in 580 and there was no formula up here, that's a 0. I cannot give credit. Everything about Excel is the formula and applying that throughout. So please make sure when I click on these, I see the formula. If it is just 599.85 in this up here, then I know you simply did the math elsewhere and plugged a number in. I've had that with other students, and it's just because they took shortcuts. And actually, it's a long cut. It's not even a shortcut. So go back through, watch this video a couple of times to get your formulas and how we do this. All right. And again, we have just figured our regular pay, we figured our overtime, and then we figured the gross or the total for the week. Thanks, guys.